know.
Who told who to F off? What is this guy talking about?
Somebody said somebody fuck off?
Yeah, a Canadian politician told someone to fuck off, apparently. Dope.
Oh, yeah, it was like one guy, I think it was a liberal, told one of his own constituents to fuck off because his own like guy was like, yo, can we get rid of these mandates? Bitches, fucking nobody cares. We're done COVID. Fucking done. People need to fly.
People don't need to fly. Flying is fucking awful.
Dude, you know how long it's been since I've flown?
Yeah, see, nobody needs to fly. People want to fly.
It's a point of pride. It's been like 4 years.
Since you've flown on an airplane?
Yeah, bro. I took what Greta Thunberg said to heart.
No, you didn't.
I was like this little 16-year-old on the spectrum girl. Is that what we're supposed to say now? I never know what we're supposed to say.
Just 16-year-old girl works.
She is a girl who has autism. She's not 16 anymore. She's got to be like 20, eh?
No, she's like the Sam Bennett of environmentalism in that she will always be 16-year-old Greta Thunberg. She will never
that's true.
age.
That's true. Like 18-year-old Sam Bennett.
18-year-old Sam Bennett. Age. 18-year-old Sam Bennett. Always going to be
so
18.
Funny.
How old is Sam Bennett now?
He's like got to be 26. No.
Bennett is... He is 25.
Oh, damn.
18-year-old Sam Bennett is now 25.
Our inside joke is 7 years old. Is he still on the Flames?
No, fuck no. He played with the Panthers this year, I think.
Okay. So if you don't listen to or don't watch hockey like Neil and many of our other viewers, Sam Bennett is a hockey player who started playing in the NHL at the age of 18 for the Calgary Flames. And it's
rare. Are we live streaming now?
Yeah, we're streaming. We're good to go. We're going.
Shit. Okay.
And it's rare for a player to go directly into the NHL with taking 1 or 2 years to, like, I don't know, grow and get their little boy into a man body. So the announcer, to point this out, would always say 18-year-old Sam Bennett. And he said it like, I don't know. I only heard it like 5 times, and now I can never say the name Sam Bennett without saying 18-year-old Sam Bennett.
No, they literally said it like every time they were talking. Wait.
Yeah.
Hey, internet.
Hey, internet. Barely 18 Sam Bennett.
Barely 18, barely legal Sam Bennett.
It took us 7 years to make that joke. I think we should get an award for that.
I think we had made it before. Hey, it's episode 210 of Outrage Factory, the podcast where we look at the things that made people mad online this week and explain why they're done for caring. It's been a fucking minute, Dale.
It has, good sir. I was scared I forgot how to pod. No, I did a Dale show for practice to see, and
it was fine.
Yeah,
it was tight.
The best thing about this pod is what makes the magic is it's just you and me talking.
Yeah,
and you and me will never run out of things to talk about.
And also, we don't have to like learn anything
or exactly
be knowledgeable about what we talk. We can just like say our dumb shit opinions and like half-baked facts, and then go on with our lives.
Yeah, because if people want to learn stuff and like not get dick jokes while they're learning stuff, this isn't the place for you. I'm sorry. We didn't make this for you.
This isn't the place.
Read 6 tabs of Wikipedia at once.
Yeah.
The same way I do research.
But not Wikipedia articles about dick jokes, because then you'll be getting those as well.
And you know what? If you start your own dick joke podcast, I might listen to it. Just let me know.
You ever take a couple minutes to remove Joe Rogan's dick from your ears, then you might do that.
Joe Rogan does.
You can't do it. He talks so much.
Dicky in my ear for most of my podcast listening.
Fucking much.
He podcasts. He does like 3-hour episodes
every day,
and sometimes he does more than one a day, like back to back.
More than one a day?
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Podcasting
guy should
for
slow
6
his roll,
hours.
but like he knows he gets paid the same amount from Spotify regardless of how many episodes he puts out, right?
Yeah, but he's double dipping because he gets advertisements on top of that.
That is true.
But he also works out like a demon, so he just gets all his like anger issues out. So he's like just chilling, relaxing. He just like smokes cigars and drinks like whiskey, and I'm like, that sounds amazing. Like, could you imagine if we didn't have to have stupid jobs and we actually worked out enough
Yeah,
in a
but like
sitting that we didn't go nuts, so we could just like hang out
number
with famous
one,
people for 3
I don't
hours?
drink, so whiskey sounds shitty. And number
Yeah.
two, cigars are one of those things that are good in theory. And
Yeah.
like whenever you want to feel like you're fucking classy, you'll light a cigar. And then you're half an hour into smoking it, and there's like a quarter of it gone, and you're like, this is never gonna fucking end. Why did I do this?
Like cigars are exactly the same as whiskey, because you're like, does this taste burnt to anybody else?
Like it tastes like shit, and you're like, and it's like at least an hour of your life, probably more, smoking the entire time. I used to hang out with a guy, and he was like a member of a cigar club in Vancouver, and I went with him one time. It's just a bunch of dudes.
Point of like a little, or I need to know something more. Like, was this a cigar club full of like fucking like Dwayne the Rock Johnson cool dudes, or was it just like the pastiest, chubbiest nerds?
Well, it was a spectrum for sure, much like Greta Thunberg. There were a couple cool dudes, and then it was mostly just like pasty old guys who like this was their life, was sitting in a room indoors and smoking cigars with other like pallid men indoors.
Yeah.
But
I can handle cigarellos, but it's been a couple of years since I had one.
Yeah, like a Colt. Oh,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what I was gonna say? I figured out the perfect way to explain what it's like to drink whiskey straight. So remember in Lord of the Rings when Frodo and Samwise had already met up with God damn it, the fucking Gollum. They met up with him, and they're walking through that swamp, and Gollum is like, watch out for this swamp, and then Frodo, the fucking idiot he is, just falls into this like disgusting swamp water, and it's like trying to like swallow him alive or whatever it was supposed to happen, and then Sam pulls it out and he spits like just disgusting swamp water out of his mouth. That's what it's like drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
Just like fucking forbidden swamp water in your mouth.
You're not wrong.
And old friend of the pod, who is a past guest host, Sean Burke, likes it extra peaty.
Super peaty.
Like he like the peatier the better. Because there's two types of whiskey. There's like Scotch, which is like, what is it? Peaty and / smoky. And then what's the other one? Guy who doesn't drink.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Hey, guy who doesn't drink. What's the nomenclature for whiskey?
To be asking about whiskey.
Hey, guy who hasn't had alcohol in like 7 years. What's the difference between whiskeys?
Couldn't tell you. I'm sure it's evolved somewhat since I stopped drinking.
Either it has and my palate hasn't, or it hasn't and my palate hasn't.
No, it's definitely the first one.
That could be true. You want us to talk about some stuff that actually happened in this month we weren't podcasting?
Yeah, it was a big news. I mean, I was even going through the agenda you put together, and I was like, well, the fucking Depp Heard trial wrapped up.
Yeah.
Well, we were not potting with Amber Heard being found guilty of defamation.
So she has to pay Johnny Depp $15 million for defamation.
They walked it back.
Slander, but Johnny Depp has to pay her $2 million from the first trial where his lawyers / counsel said she was doing it all for attention. So in the end, Johnny Depp gets a cool $13 million from Amber Heard, who apparently can't pay it, but can take private jets, which is okay because I doubt she's the one paying for it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that news story and I was like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, I doubt very much Amber Heard was like, well, I'm going to take my private jet. It's like, that's not what happened.
No. The person who wrote that article forgot that thirsty rich dudes exist.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. Or any, like, it could have been like a business thing. It could have been like whatever.
Touch-ups for Aquaman 2 shooting.
I don't care.
Do you want to just do quick hits on all the stuff that's too old to get too in depth in / I forget?
Do I want to what?
Do you want to do, instead of going all the way in depth like we just did for this Amber Heard thing, do you want to just touch on them quickly?
Was that all the way in depth? Was
No.
that our in-depth analysis? Yeah,
that was a quick hit as opposed to
what are some other quick? What were the other big news
analyses.
stories? There are some of the things in here that I actually want to talk about.
Oh fuck! Let's just you pick all the ones I put in there. Let's talk about them.
Let's talk about how fucking trash Air Canada is.
Oh yeah, dude.
And also, I'm gonna disagree with you on the, because I know your reasoning for it and what you're hearing in your weird little right-wing anti-vax circles.
I'm not in right-wing anti-vax circles. Actually, one of the people who said this, and it makes sense, was actually Ryan Whitney, because like every other problem in Canada, nothing gets solved until a famous person from the States puts Canada on blast. And then we have to act like we're like some embarrassed cousin. We're like, oh, no, I swear we're normal. We have normal rules and rights and freedoms. Okay, we'll do that. And then what was that guy who brought it up? Okay, yeah. So do you want to add anything before I get into explaining who Ryan Whitney is and what he did?
Sure. Yeah, go into it.
What are you doing right now?
I'm listening to you talk.
Yeah, your eyes look like you're reading something, sir.
I'm reading your facial expressions as you tell me the siren song of Ryan Whitney of Spittin' Chicklets fame.
Oh, that's probably the one podcast that, and this guy named Isaac Weishaupt who does conspiracy podcasts. Those are the only two things that are going to worm their dicky way into my ears as much as Joe Rogan. So Michael Barrett, what is he?
Wait, do you want to go back to like the beginning of the story?
Let's go to the beginning.
Ryan
Whitney thing. Okay, so Ryan Whitney is this guy from Spitting Chicklets, which is a hockey podcast you should all check out. It's really good. Ryan Whitney is an ex-NHL player. As well on the podcast is Paul Bissonnette, who is also an ex-NHL player. And then a guy named Rear Admiral, which I can't remember his real name. They call him RA, who was actually in the Shoresy show. But was he?
I haven't watched Shoresy yet. Is it good?
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Better than Letter, like same level as Letterkenny? Better? Worse?
Same level as Letterkenny, but kind of funnier and less funny at the same time, because it's about hockey. It's all just hockey. So it's funnier if you enjoy hockey more than, say, farming. Because Letterkenny's kind of built around this farm place in Saskatchewan where they do, and they always talk about chorin and stuff. Whereas Shoresy, it's just hockey. So anyways, that's the podcast with those three. It's on the Barstool Sports podcast network and whatever. So Ryan
Portnoy.
Yeah, sure. We're never going to sell this podcast at Barstool Profits if you keep saying that, Derek.
I don't think we're going to anyway. Sorry, Dan.
Really? I mean, those girls talked about Vag jokes and they got a super successful show. Call Me Daddy. I've never listened to it.
Call Me Daddy. Well, it's just the one girl now. And it's also not on Barstool anymore. Because
she like left and
she got bought out by Spotify.
It was a big thing. So anyways, back on track. I'm so all over the place. So Ryan Whitney and Paul Bissonnette and RA and a couple other dudes from their podcast went to Edmonton to do live shows and do some press junkets and stuff for the Western Conference Finals because Edmonton Oilers was playing against the Avalanche. And they got swept, and I don't want to talk about that because it's still a little tender.
We can talk about it if you want, about how your beloved Oilers shit the fucking bed and got swept in 4 games with the Colorado.
They got further than anybody gave them they got further than anybody thought they would.
True.
They beat Calgary in the Battle of Alberta, so I'm happy. So anyways, the Spit and Chicklets podcast goes to Edmonton, and then they eventually have to fly back. And Ryan Whitney was going through Toronto Pearson Airport, and he gets like super fucked around. He goes over it in some video where he's complaining about it or whatever, but I think it ended up taking him 29 hours to get home. And there was all this like complete shit show fuckery that happened in the Pearson Airport. And he put up a video on Twitter and it went super viral. And then people started talking about it. And do you want to jump in now?
Oh, well, I want to jump in because like he went in.
Jump in.
I'm jumping
Are you
right
jumping?
the fuck in because
I haven't flown in 4 years and I'm a good person who has morals and cares about the earth.
You don't care.
No, it's not because I'm too poor and I hate sitting beside people I don't know.
You don't care about shit. So as I watched the Ryan Whitney video, I was sitting in the Montreal airport immediately after Air Canada had canceled one of my fucking flights. And I was just like, and it was like the same. So I will like actively go out of my way to not fly through Pearson Airport because Pearson Airport is a fucking shithole. And every time I fly through there, something bad happens. And every time I fly with Air Canada, something bad happens. And it was the same this time. It was like we flew WestJet from Vancouver to Calgary for my brother's wedding. And that was fine. There were no issues. We got from Vancouver to Calgary, flight left on time, flight arrived on time. No cancellations, no nothing. Great. Good. Thank you, WestJet. Fly Air Canada the rest of the way from like Calgary to Philly and then from Philly back. And I think going there was okay. There was like one slight delay and then coming back. And it was the same we flew last time. Air Canada just like canceled one of our flights. And Air Canada is canceling so many fucking flights right now. I think they canceled.
Is it because they're understaffed because of their vaccine mandate to work there?
No.
Which Whitney and them on the Spit and Chicklets podcast alluded to.
Yeah.
Or
because that's their politics or whatever. It's not fucking vaccine mandates don't have anything to do with it. It's
don't you need to be vaccinated to work for Air Canada?
I don't actually know. But even if you do,
we should have looked this up.
We should have. Hold
on. But they did get rid of their testing.
Vaccine mandate.
Also, do you think it's because they're understaffed or they're just like a fucking shitty company that doesn't know how to run it?
So they're a shitty fucking company that like operates like at the margin. Like they will like a lot of companies operate this way. It's like in order to maximize profits, of which Air Canada made. Hold on, Air Canada profits 2021. What do you got for me, Google? $2.6 billion. Oh, that was first quarter results from 2022. So they're making billions of dollars.
And $8 billion a year.
They do that by staffing the fucking bare minimum of people required to get a job done. And right now there's like, I think a lot of pent up demand for travel, obviously, after 2 years of fucking COVID. And I don't think they were particularly well equipped to deal with it. So a lot of flights are getting canceled. Like, I think I don't think the vaccine mandates, because even if you don't have the vaccine mandates, you fucking have testing requirements. And if people aren't vaccinated, then they're getting COVID and they're missing work anyways. I think it's that Air Canada is
people who are vaccinated are still getting COVID and missing work too.
Yeah, for sure. Which like, but they get it less. And I'm vaccinated. I've not had COVID. And I went to like I went to two. I was like, this is it. This is where I get COVID for sure. But I didn't give a shit anymore because like they got rid of the testing requirement to get back into Canada.
Dope.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to like a wedding in Calgary with 200 people. And then I'm going to a wedding in the States with 200 people, many of whom I know are anti-vaxxers. And I'm like, this is going to be where I get COVID. And I didn't get it. So
you know why you didn't get it? Because we're not fucking doing COVID anymore. It's done. I'm over it.
I mean, so it's pretty much, but like, regardless, fucking, so everyone kind of seized on Air Canada just being a shit tier airline and being like, this is because vaccine mandates are bad. And it's like, no, this is because like, hey, guess what? Air Canada was a shit airline before COVID even happened. There were plenty of flights I had with Air Canada where they just canceled flights or were unable to perform the basic fucking function that an airline has of flying people from one place to another place. They suck at it.
Is there another way you can fly from Calgary to Philly, or is Air Canada the only one you can?
Yeah, no, there's American, like the most of the American carriers, like even like, so here's the other fucking dumb thing is that like Air Canada and United are like partner airlines, right?
Oh, isn't United also trash?
Well, I love United. Like I've never had a bad experience with United. But
You're
if
not
so,
a Chinese dentist, though.
no, I'm like, well, that's the other thing is that like I'm a white guy. I shouldn't have to deal with any adversity in my life. I've been told that I don't have to experience any of that, and then I do. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I fucking hate Air Canada. So this like Ryan Whitney thing, yeah, he had this viral video where it was funny because he was talking about how, and this is also something that's happened to me, where, fun fact, if you are flying to the United States from Canada, like let's say you leave Vancouver and you're flying through Toronto and you get a connection and then you fly into the United States from Toronto. So what happens if you get to Toronto and your connecting flight to the US is canceled and you had checked bags on the flight? You can't get those bags back because officially those bags are in the United States as soon as you check them. Like they're passed through customs. So one time I was traveling for work with these dudes. We were flying to Baltimore, and we got to Toronto. Air Canada had canceled our flight from Toronto to Baltimore, so we had to spend the night in Toronto. And these guys had checked bags that like all their shit was in, and they had like video equipment, and they needed to get it because they didn't want it sitting in some fucking unguarded room at the airport all night. And so we had to wait in customs for like 3 hours, I think, to get, basically someone had to go take the bags out. Then the guys had to take their suitcases, go out into Canadian customs, cross the border back into Canada just to get their bags out of like, so Whitney's talking about this experience in his thing too, because he's like, oh, I had checked bags. I'm stuck in customs. Fucking flight was canceled. And then he goes in whatever, sleeps in a hotel for the night, and then comes back to the airport the next morning, and it's like even more of a shit show. And this is going on. Air Canada has canceled 10% of their flights through the first week of June because they fucking suck and have no idea what they're doing. And I want to take this opportunity to remind everyone that if an airline, so Canada has really strict, I think we've actually talked about it on the podcast before, Canada has really strict airline compensation policies where if your flight is delayed for a reason that doesn't include aircraft maintenance or like weather or war, so things that are within the airline's control, like staffing levels, you can submit a request for reimbursement. And if your flight is delayed 3 hours, if you get home 3 hours later, 3 hours or more later, you are entitled to at least $400 from the airline per passenger. And if you're delayed, I think like it stacks. So you can get a pretty significant payout from Air Canada if you have been affected by this fuckery.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. So
I mean, except for the part where you have to be fucked around and wait in an airport for bullshit.
Yeah, but honestly, that's worth it just to know that I'm costing Air Canada money. Like, you want to strand me in an airport overnight? If Air Canada, if that takes money out of Air Canada's pocket and puts it in my pocket, I'm willing to take that hit for the greater good. I fucking hate Air Canada. I fucking hate Air Canada. I fucking hate them.
I love when people just hate random things.
I fucking hate. And the worst thing about Air Canada is it doesn't matter how fucking shitty they are. They can be the worst fucking airline in the world, because if people stop flying with them, they start losing money. And then the government of Canada is just like, here's a bailout. You're a national airline. We need you around.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you. So either way, even if you fucking hate Air Canada and you don't fly Air Canada, they still get your taxpayer dollars. You can't help it. Fuck Air Canada. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Fuck them. I will not fly on Air Canada. I think I haven't flown. Okay. Besides me bragging about haven't flown for 4 years.
Oh, I don't fly.
I haven't flown budget air, like either WestJet or is Swoop still around? Flair. Anyways, they're like, because I would only fly to like for the last like 10 years, I've only flown to Alberta, and you can go to Abbotsford and get like $100 flight on like Swoop or Flair, but I don't know if they're around.
Yeah, the discount. like the
Yeah.
discount ones.
I haven't flown Air Canada probably since the last time you and me went to Vegas, like 10 years ago.
When was that? For the whale shark party?
Yeah. For Matt's bachelor party. That had to be like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, how long have they been? Yeah, that would have been no, because Noah was born.
Oh.
So it would have been like 7
Okay.
7
That's
years
still
ago.
an
'Cause
impressive long time.
So it would have been, yeah, like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Good for you. Continue not flying Air Canada.
I will.
Good.
Actually, I don't know. I kind of want to go. Oh no, wait. I'm a fucking liar. I went to Europe. I probably flew Air Canada. I'm so dumb. That was probably 6 years ago. I don't know how long. That might have been the last time I flew. Anyways, when I went to Europe, because I'm super traveled.
Europe. I'm so well traveled.
I went to Czechoslovakia,
Croatia,
and jolly old London.
I saw Stonehenge.
I did see Stonehenge.
I know.
And you want to know something? I don't know, kind of like a joy kill. The reason that people, when they go to Stonehenge, they don't have like a magical experience and it doesn't feel any energies or whatever, it's because it's a dead monument. Because in the 70s, they took all of it out and repurposed it and put it all back in. So they took all the like old druid magic out of it when they fucked with it. Because if they wouldn't have done that, we could still be doing magic with it. So do you want to talk more about this Ryan Whitney thing and how?
Well, so we can talk about the outcome now, because today Canada announced, and I don't know if this has any fucking thing to do with Ryan. And like,
dude, it does, because fucking Michael Barrett brought up fucking Ryan Whitney in the House of Commons or whatever it's called. And he said, like, this is so bad that a super famous person who blah, 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 he's talking about how it's terrible. And then this other guy was like, yeah, it's terrible. We're going to stop tests. We're going to stop randomized testing, which how often did that happen? Is that really sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. It was random. I've flown across the border lots since they got rid of the like mandatory testing, and I didn't ever get chosen for it, but I did see other people who did. And I don't know if those people were unvaccinated.
Random testing. No, if you're unvaccinated, you have to test no matter what.
Well, that's the other. So today they announced they're getting rid of the vaccine mandate for for Canadians to fly. So
wait, in Canada or to the States?
Both.
Oh, nice.
Well, sort of both. The US still has a vaccine mandate, I think, to fly. If you're Canadian, you can,
like international.
If you're American, you can fly into the state. They can't deny entrance to someone from their own country. But if you're Canadian, you do need to be vaccinated to fly into the US, I believe. But you don't need to be vaccinated. But now all these fucking crazy people who have been flipping the fuck out about how their freedom of movement was limited, they can now fly domestically again. So hopefully we don't have to hear any of that bullshit anymore.
That'd be nice if we should, like, I want to get rid of all this stuff, not because I care either way about it. I just want people to stop talking about it.
Yeah, preach. Like, serious. I don't care if 100,000 more people have to die of COVID. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't want to hear people talking about it anymore.
You know what? Quite frankly, I feel like it was anticlimactic.
What?
We were promised the apocalypse.
I don't know, man. That was still pretty like
nothing.
As far as pandemics in my lifetime go, a few million people dead is pretty. I mean,
wait. I'm gonna look up the death toll. It's got real dark because I have the window open on my phone. Because I've had one tab open, like the world meters COVID thing.
Oh,
I've had it open on my phone for like 2 years.
I remember in the early days, like I would check that thing every fucking day.
Oh yeah.
Be like, what's going on? We're all gonna die.
Okay, worldwide, 6.3 million dead.
Yeah, 6 million dead is like, that's a substantial amount of people, man.
Yeah, and in the US, 1 million dead.
Yeah.
which is also substantial.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna see. Who do you think is the second most to have people die?
Brazil. No.
God damn it! Are you looking at it?
No, I just
It
remember
is
that like
Brazil.
the countries that got fucked the most were the ones with populist leaders. So it was like fucking US followed by Brazil had the most cases. And then I think it was who was it? UK after that?
India.
Oh, right. Okay.
Dude, what the fuck? I'm looking at deaths per million, and Peru was twice as high as anyone else. Like Peru had 6,000 deaths per million population.
Yeah.
And Brazil and America only had 3,000. So what the fuck happened in Peru?
Well, they're probably they're
they only had 213,000 deaths.
It's smaller sample to only 213,000.
Well, in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that shit's behind us and we never have to talk about it. I know the fucking flip side is going to be like, I haven't gone onto Twitter to see people's reaction.
Don't go onto Twitter.
I bet like now there's going to be people who are like, now that they've announced that they've ended the vaccine mandate, there's going to be people who are like, well, I'm not going to, I had a family vacation planned to Regina, Saskatchewan, and I'm going to cancel that now because I won't go on. You know what was dope? The US also recently got rid of their mask mandate in airports and on airplanes. Nice. So when Noah and I were in Philly, we were just chilling in an airport without masks for the first time in 2.5 years.
Oh, wait, do you still have to wear a mask in the airport here?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And on planes in Canada.
What?
Yeah. So it was like we were in the Philly airport boarding a flight to come back to Canada. And we had to put masks on as we walked onto the flight, and then we just fucking wore them until whenever.
Sounds real helpful.
Anyway,
did you see what Alberta's doing?
What?
Now you don't even have to isolate if you have COVID.
Yeah.
If you have COVID, they're like, fuck, get back to work.
Yeah.
We don't care.
You know?
Yeah.
I respect it.
I mean,
COVID's over, everyone. People still talking about COVID. People still talking about COVID on either side of COVID. Besides us. We're not talking about COVID. We're talking about people talking about COVID.
Good point, Derek.
Which we're allowed to do.
Nice loophole. Loophole.
That's our loophole for everything on this. It's like I don't feel a certain thing about anything except for Air Canada, which I fucking loathe. I just talk about how other people feel about things.
We're not talking, besides Derek and Air Canada, we're not talking about how angry we are. We're talking about how angry everyone else is and how dumb it is.
I'm mostly apathetic to most things except Air Canada. Fuck Air Canada.
Oh, also totally unrelated. You brought up Twitter before. I finally put my finger on why I don't like Twitter anymore. No, I can't delete my account. It's because it got too earnest. Like it was too comfortable of a space where everybody could say everything they want. Like TikTok is still like girls being, look how sexy I am, and guys being like, look what I can make, where people are still like trying to prove and not really willing to put their whole earnest beliefs out there now. Because Twitter, now that it's okay to say what's on your mind and how you're feeling, that's all anybody does. And it's like, we get it.
It's not,
you have sadness.
Oh yeah.
Or you're angry about stuff.
Well, no,
can we talk about something else?
That was the other thing is like, it's like people are like, it's basically like, pimping out their vulnerability for validation from strangers on the internet. And it's like, that's something I noticed a lot in like because for a while I tried my hand at like being a sober influencer on Instagram, and it was very much the same. It was like, oh well, you're gonna talk about this about your feelings and like reveal this about yourself. Well, I'm gonna go one further and I'm gonna reveal this, like the shittiest thing about myself, just to get some likes. And like Twitter is like very much like that, and like people just like tripping over their own dicks to be like, I'm vulnerable, I have feelings, I have a dark side, I'm dark and moody, look at me,
It's like you guys should have gone through. It's like, and it's all people our age too, which is even worse. It's like you guys, when in your teenage years, instead of listening to Dave Matthews and Our Lady Peace, should have been listening to emo music and getting this out of your system, like me and Derek were. Like Derek was listening to Saves the Day, I was listening to Nine Inch Nails. We were just being totally emo and putting our feelings out there.
I had an angsty little diary that I kept
Yeah.
for myself. Nobody had to read it. I just fucking wrote my shitty little teenage feelings down on fucking, well, I typed them out because it was on a computer, but
I typed up my feelings.
Ooh, I have feelings, but I also like technology. Ooh.
The point is, we got all of that shit out of our system in our early 20s, and then we're like, wait, making dick jokes and laughing about shit is actually makes life a lot better than just being like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
Even then. Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, if you are sad or depressed, like fine, it's good that you can talk about it, but like talk about it with like a trusted, like like fucking broadcasting it on the internet just so you can like watch the likes roll in from internet strangers on the vulnerabilities you're sharing. That's going to compound the problem. That is, you are getting addicted to external validation from strangers. It's like there's been studies that prove that like the dopamine high you get when someone interacts with your social media post is basically the same as doing drugs. So
you guys are getting interactions on social media?
I mean, I'm not anymore. It's awesome. I'll like log into Twitter once every 4 days and I'll tweet one thing. And then I'll totally forget about it. And I'll come back and look a couple days later and it has like 2 likes. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I'm just like, there was a time where I was that person. Like I was very fucking addicted to social media, and I was addicted to like saying things in a way that got me as many likes as possible. And it felt fucking good watching that shit roll in. And then and just to like not have to worry about that anymore not have to worry about like couching my opinions or like having to fucking perform for people online and be like,
oh yeah, or like having this like online persona that you're like, well, if I say this, like, because my problem, I've never had what you have, because I never have like all the likes and stuff rolling because I'm too like schizophrenic with it. Like I'll post like a mental well-being quote, and then I'll make a dick joke, and then I'll be like, I'm watching this show, and I'm just all over the place. Whereas like I see a lot of people who are like trying to curtail their timeline for likes and stuff. They're all like trying to get like a wheelhouse that they tweet about. Like they'll only tweet about one certain thing, and I'm like, oh, that seems annoying.
It is. It's a fucking lot of work, and there's like very, very little payoff from it beyond getting a bunch of like random people who also spend too much time on Twitter to engage with your shit, which is worth absolutely fucking nothing in the long. I like your Twitter because it's very like representative of like, I mean, you tweet exactly the same way that you like function in normal life. So
that's one of my goals, is to never not be me, because having a persona is, like you said, so much work, and I am not doing any extra work ever. And that's why I have a baby face.
Yeah.
Because I refuse to do extra work.
Yeah. It's paying off for you. You got that pinkish baby face.
Yeah.
And, no age lines on there, because you don't worry about your online persona at fucking all.
It also doesn't hurt to be chubby, because then it pushes out the wrinkles.
All right. Good to know. I'm getting there.
Since we're talking about faces.
What?
Guess who has problems with their face?
Is that a segue? Is that a segue I smell?
That's a segue.
Who is it, Dale?
Justin Bieber has facial paralysis. And as much as I just said, I don't like doing extra work, I didn't look into what caused it, but it's some weird disease that Ramsay Hunt syndrome is what he has.
So is it like permanent, or is it
I don't know. Hold on. I'll read the article online.
I'm Googling.
Okay.
Oh, facial paralysis and hearing loss. Damn.
Oh, damn. Hearing loss? Is this from a vaccine?
Oh, it's kind of like Bell's palsy.
Oh, yeah.
But more severe.
Oh. And Bell's palsy is only half your face, right?
Yes.
Side note. My I think she was 8 at the time, 8 or 9. My little niece got Bell's palsy and she fucking loved it. And she kept FaceTiming me because like half her face wouldn't move. And then she'd be like, doesn't this look weird? And she'd make like all these other like expressions on half her face. And then
That's
it like
amazing.
went away after 2 weeks. And she's like, I'm glad it's gone, but I kind of miss it.
My mom had Bell's palsy last year.
How long did it last?
Just a few weeks. Like they prescribed drugs for it, but they thought, well, they kind of like implied, and I was like, oh, maybe it's related to this because it was right after she got the COVID vaccine, and I was like,
oh shit, Bieber has Lyme disease. In 2020, he went public with a Lyme disease diagnosis.
I'm so fucking paranoid of ticks.
Oh, you want to hear something funny?
Oh yeah,
a little. Remember how we said you weren't going to learn anything on this podcast?
Yeah.
You're going to fucking learn something right now.
Let's fucking go.
You know how sometimes you get Lyme disease? You get allergic to these proteins that are in red meat.
Yeah.
So you can't eat red meat.
Kate was literally just telling me about this as well.
Guess what? You can still eat human flesh. If you have Lyme disease and you are allergic to beef and red meat, you can still eat pork in humans, but I wouldn't recommend it because pork is full of trichinosis. And humans, you'll go to jail.
Wait, so does that mean we're more like white meat than red meat?
We're the other white meat.
So we're closer to porks.
We're exactly the same as pork. Like they call human meat, like a slang term for it is long pig, because when you like take our skin off, we look exactly like pigs with different heads. Also bears and pigs are in the same. Swine Ursa or whatever, Ursa swinus or something. I don't know, but humans, pigs, and bears all have the same type of meat. So there you go. Learn something. But and also bears can get trichinosis too, so don't eat those either.
Wait, don't eat bears? We've had so many around here lately. Just like wandering through people's backyards and shit.
That's why I got my gun license. Everybody's like, Dill, you're dumb to get your gun license. I was like, no, animals are going to come out of the wilderness because of COVID. They got all cocky because we weren't in the forest as much. And now look what happened. 2 years later. What?
I'll keep going.
2 years later, there's fucking bears in Burnaby. Burnaby Bears.
Well, we're up the mountain, to be fair. When I was at Kate's brother's wedding in the States, all anyone wanted to fucking talk to me about was guns and Canada's guns laws and being like, are you worried that Trudeau's going to come and take your guns? And I'm like, no. I was like, it's already a pain in the ass to get a gun in Canada. I think like Trudeau's thing, and I didn't even really see what it was, but I think it was mostly virtue signaling because it's because they're not like removing any guns and they're not necessarily making it more difficult for people to get guns. They were just like, here's a bill banning this one specific type of thing. And then all the program people were like, fuck, Trudeau's coming for our guns. And everyone else was like,
yeah, he was like, I'm going to make it harder to get handguns. And you're like, it's almost impossible to have a handgun
super
right
fucking hard already, buddy. Like,
you want to troll your family-in-law about guns and stuff? You know, say AR-15 stands for assault rifle 15 and they'll get so mad.
Who was it? Wasn't there like a politician? Wasn't it like AOC or something tweeted that?
And they all got so mad. They're like, it stands for Armalite. Armalite rifle. And you're like, fuck guys, shut up. And they're like, AR-15s aren't even assault rifles because they're semi-automatics.
Wow, 1,000. I just Googled it. House Democrats roll out a bill to hit AR-15 style weapons with a 1,000% tax that could pass Congress without Republican support.
Wait, like Republicans? Is that in the States or here?
That's the States.
Oh,
I didn't even Google what it is because it's just like it was fucking dumb. Like Did
they say AR-15 style guns?
Yeah.
So just semi-automatic rifles?
I think so. But 1,000% tax? That's the other thing. Guns are already so fucking expensive.
Dude, that's like the main reason I don't have one.
Yeah. I remember we went looking.
Oh yeah.
We went looking for you.
I was like, I should just get this. And it's like basically like the off-brand Kmart shotgun, and it's $300. And I was like, I don't care about my safety that much.
Hold on. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Monday that the nation would put a freeze on importing, buying, or selling handguns just 1 week after a mass shooting. Gun control legislation. It will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada once this bill becomes law. I will make sure that those who are considered a danger to themselves or others have to surrender their firearms authorities. Dude, you should get your handgun pretty quick.
I'm not buying a handgun. Do you know what you have to do to get a handgun?
Why?
So, because I have my restricted. So in Canada, the gun license has 2 levels. There's like your regular gun license where you can only have like shotguns and rifles. And there's your restricted where you can get like handguns and the semi-automatic. I don't even know if you can have semi-automatic, whatever. It's like the bigger batter guns, but the handguns are the bigger batter guns. So for me to buy a handgun, I have to get it registered. I have to call the police station nearest my house and be like, hey, I have this handgun. Here's all the numbers and stuff. I have to be a member of a gun range, like a gun club gun range. I have to let the police know which gun range I'm going to. And then I have to keep that gun in a little gun box safe with the ammo separate. Or if the ammo, I think if the ammo's in the box, you have to have a trigger guard on it, or like the ammo can't be physically touching the gun. It's like all this stupid bullshit. And then I'm only allowed to take that handgun from my place of residence to the gun range. And if there's like a road closure or I have to go detour, I have to let the cops know I'm going off the approved route. And as much as I keep saying I don't like extra work, that is way too much extra work.
And that's already right now, right? Like I'm just reading
right now.
It's like Canadians seeking to own a handgun before this would have been required to prove that they practice at an approved shooting range or otherwise show that they are a gun collector, loophole. Complete an in-person safety course, take a written and practical test.
Which I did, both of.
Requires people.
I had to take 2 nights of a gun course in Surrey.
I mean, all that shit seems like fine or whatever. Like
I'm down. I think all people should do all that shit.
Like, make people jump through a few hoops to buy a gun. Requires people to provide at least 2 character references. Canadians must also list the names of partners they have lived with in the last 2 years, who are each required to sign the gun application or be notified, which, like, again, that, like, looking at that makes sense to me. Like, domestic violence, you're like, I wouldn't want like a former partner who, was like physically violent with me to be able to purchase a gun. Like, it's good that they can sign off on it. And then they apply for a firearms permit, wait at least 28 days, and then pass a background check that takes into account any criminal record, mental health history, substance addiction, and domestic violence incidents. And then you have to register your handguns with the police, and then you take it home.
Yeah. So for me to get my gun license, I had to do the course, and then I had to do a written test, and then I had to do a practical test, which is like 5 steps or whatever, of making sure there's no bullets in a gun when you pick it up. And then they had to send it away for processing. And it took like 4 months for me to actually get my license after that. And then by the time I got it, I was like over it. I was like, oh yeah. I was so horny to get it when I got it. And then it took so long. I was like, I don't even really want to go buy a gun and get a trigger lock and keep all this stuff.
So if you can't even get handguns now, what can you get? Rifles?
I can still get everything else. Yeah, I can get rifles. So in Canada, you can only get guns that shoot a maximum of 5 bullets in. Like, so if you have a semi-auto, which just means every time you pull the trigger, it shoots, you can only have a maximum of 5 bullets in like the magazine. But if you get either a bolt action, lever action, or pump action, you can put as many bullets in there as you want in the magazine because it's considered like single fire. So I guess their reasoning is if you have a shotgun with a banana clip and you're pumping it every time you shoot, it'll give the police enough time to take you out. I don't know. It's kind of it's one of those rules where you're like, I guess that makes sense.
I guess.
And also, depending on the size of the gun, like 22s, you could basically put whatever you want in there because it's a rim fire instead of a center fire. So like what that means is the bullet is so small that the hammer that hits the back of the bullet that makes it shoot, it hits the edge of the bullet instead of in the middle. And that's rim fire instead of center fire. So 22s are rim fire. So you can also have more in their things. And that's what there's going to be so many people who like know shit about guns who are going to get mad at this, but I think that's what SKSs are. Hold on.
He's Googling it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Googling it.
This could also be why I don't have guns, because I don't know anything about them. But I know SKS is the last wave of Canadian reformed gun control and shit. They were the one everybody was talking about because it's basically like a 22 bullet that looks like an assault rifle. And in Canada, everybody gets all fucked up when stuff looks like an assault rifle, even though you can't even get assault rifles in Canada.
Yeah.
Fuck, where's the
now I kind of feel like I should like rush to get a handgun before the
don't say that on the air, Derek.
Legally rush to get a handgun and jump through the hoops.
And the funny thing was that when I went to this class, everybody who was there was like, their whole reasoning for getting a gun was they wanted to move to the Okanagan and start hunting. Like 8 different people said that because this was like during COVID. So they're like, yeah, I don't want to live in the city anymore, but I want to hunt and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. Cool. Why is there no? Oh, it's 7.6 millimeter. I don't know what that means. That's just the size of the bullets. It's not 22s. Anyways, all that for nothing.
Cool. What's next? Wait,
why
did we
were
finish
talking about guns?
I don't know. We were talking about guns. Oh,
we started about Bieber's face.
And then we talked about this was a fucking tangent for the ages.
Oh man,
tangent
tracing
for
the
ages.
Spiderwebs back because we're starting talking about
Bieber's
bears,
face, Lyme disease, bears.
Yeah.
Oh no, human flesh, bears, guns. And then Canada's got fuck. Good one, bro. That was great.
Nice. What do you want to talk about now? Are we done with Bieber?
We got time. We got time for what? I mean, yeah, Bieber's face is fucked up. It seems pretty easily treatable. So get well soon, JB.
Is your child still a fan of Bieber?
Get well soon. Yeah, he'll always be a fan of Bieber.
Yeah. It's just a shame once his coffee finally comes out in Tim Hortons.
His Justin face is Bieber too paralyzed to enjoy it.
Maybe his face is like Dorian Gray, and the more like he reaches out his fingers into merchandising, the more fucked up his face gets. Like first he got Lyme disease, now his face is like paralyzed because he got like Toronto Maple Leaf jerseys and shit.
Yeah, this is the universe being like, stop merchandising.
Oh, let's talk about this movie industry thing, because this is funny as hell to me. So did you watch Morbius?
No, fuck no. I haven't gone to a movie in a not insignificant amount of time, and like honestly, if I had, it would not be that one.
Yeah, because
why did you see it?
No, nobody saw it. That's the point. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so few people say it. Sorry, I'm just replying to. I'm replying to a comment, and
I'm watching you reply in real time. I'm watching you reply to the Facebook comment.
All I said was that could be me to Dan's comment. And that's how much it fucked me up trying to talk and write at the same time. I don't know how you do it, Derek. I just can't. Okay, so Morbius is in the time. Yeah, that's the meme. Everybody kept saying it's Morbin time. as a joke because Morbius was so bad. And it's funny because people were getting pissed off. They're like, quit making these memes. They're going to make a Morbius too. And Sony, who I don't know, has no fucking idea what they're doing or in touch with their audience at all, saw all these memes and thought it meant that the movie was becoming a second wave of popularity. They're like, oh, it wasn't popular the first time. People just missed it. So they re-released it into theaters.
And
so
nobody.
Morbius is like one of the only movies that's bombed at the box office twice.
I love that some fucking movie exec was like, oh, the kids are making memes about it. That means people want to see it. So they actually they tried to do the ironic thing and be like, we're going to bring back this meme movie so people can see it. And nobody fucking saw it. And it made, because they had to pay money to advertise it the second time around, right? Make the announcements and be like, yo, we're bringing it back. And it lost money. Studio executives are fucking idiots.
I don't even know how this movie got made, because Morbius is a terrible character that I didn't even know had enough following to warrant getting a movie made.
He's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
No, this is the Sony Spider-Verse thing where it's but that's Spider-Man.
Okay.
This Venom, and that's it.
But he is
a Marvel character.
He is a Marvel character. Well, that's exactly it. Literally, Dale, find the dumbest fucking Marvel character you can think of and go to a Hollywood studio and say, I wrote a script about who is the fucking dumbest Marvel character you can think of?
The Eternals.
No, that one was already made. You got to do.
Yeah, but that was pretty dumb. That one was also that was on the MCU though. That wasn't even Sony. That was them being like enough with these weird esoteric characters from the 70s. They're like the Inhumans. They tried to make a TV show and they're like, nobody gives a fuck about 70s space characters. The dumbest character I could do another Howard the Duck movie, but they already made one.
They made a new one?
No, if they made a new one. But I was just saying that doesn't count because they already made one. I don't know who is the dumbest Marvel character.
I just fucking looked at,
because you could just Googled it. Who came up?
Hindsight Lad, which
That's
is
pretty dumb.
Paste Pot Pete, never heard of it.
What? You never heard of Paste Pot? He's a Spider-Man bad guy. So Spider-Man is in DC, Flash has all the shitty bad guys, but in Marvel, Spider-Man has all the shitty bad guys. He has a lot of good bad guys like Doc Ock, Mysterio, Sandman, the Lizard, Venom, Carnage. Stiltman is a Spider-Man bad guy that is dumb. Paste Pot Pete is. Green Goblin, I've never been a huge fan of. Hobgoblin is also kind of dumb. The Mole Man, I think that's a Fantastic Four guy, but he might also be a Spider-Man guy. I think Stiltman would be the dumbest.
Do you want me to finish this article?
Yeah.
Actually, they don't seem that bad. They're not as dumb as the ones that you just named. There is Asbestos Lady, who was the arch nemesis of the Human Torch.
That aged well.
What Dr. Bong, Litterbug, what else? Hell Cow, which I think is a Deadpool character.
Yeah, it sounds like a Deadpool guy. But they could always do like DC did and make the Suicide Squad, where you take the lame villains and make them like a super covert.
I watched that on the plane, the James Gunn version.
Yeah. The second one?
The second one, yeah. The James Gunn
it's
one
so good.
That they made before Peacemaker. Yeah, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, man.
Just let
Did you watch the first one with Will Smith?
No.
It's not as good, but it had Batfleck in it.
No.
I'm a huge fan of Batfleck. I don't care who knows.
I didn't watch it. Though I didn't mind whatever. Fucking Justice League. I didn't actually see the non-Snyder cut. I only watched the Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut is so much better. I watched them both because pretty much my theory is I'll watch any superhero movie. whatever. Like, oh, if Morbius was free on streaming, I'd watch it. I
Well,
just didn't go to the theater to watch
that's
it.
exactly how Morbius got made, because like studio execs now assume there are millions of people like you, and that's probably true. And if you make like just like a mediocre, like Eternals still made money, didn't it? And that was like,
I think so.
yeah, like it wasn't like, I don't think anyone would call it a bomb. It just wasn't like the next Avengers.
Yeah.
So there's enough people like you who are like, if we make a superhero movie or a movie about comic book characters, people are going to come see it. And that was not the case with Morbius, because I think it's also like Jared Leto's just like a shit leading man. Like, I don't think anyone.
Yeah, he is and that's another detriment to the character, saying that Jared Leto is the perfect person to play Morbius, because Morbius is this like scummy vampire guy who's like, I don't know, sometimes he's a villain, sometimes he's a hero. You could say he's an anti-hero or whatever. So it's like all the faults with Jared Leto and how much people like and hate him, like he's a cult leader with his band or whatever. That's like what Morbius is. So it's just like, I don't know. The character didn't deserve his own movie. He should have been like a sub character, like a secondary.
Yeah. Damn. Did you know?
Yeah.
There are over 7,000 characters in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, there's a lot.
50,000 if you count one-off superheroes, villains, and other mutants.
Oh,
so
wow.
There are 7,000 established characters in the Marvel universe, and then 50,000 like one-offs or supporting characters.
When I was little, we used to have these encyclopedia of heroes and stuff, and I'd read them. Oh, there's a guy who's he was like made up of diamonds, and he was from space, and he was like so lame, but he would have been a sweet guy to have in a movie. He was literally made of diamonds. I can't remember what his name was though.
You know, it was dope. Do you remember? Do you ever have the Marvel trading cards like back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we did. Those were pretty sweet.
Those were dope.
They should make a Wrecking Crew movie. That's what they should make.
The fuck was a Wrecking Crew?
And they're one of Luke Cage's villain groups. There's like this guy. He has a crowbar. His name's Crowbar. There's I think his name is Pile Driver or something. And then there's Wrecking Ball. And it's like, I think it's there might also be Thor bad guys. So it's like he got the main guy, he has like a wrecking ball. It's like a ball on a chain, and it got like enchanted by like Norse magic or something. So he touched it, and then he got like basically when he held his wrecking ball, he was Thor, but instead of a hammer, he had a wrecking ball, and then he like enchanted this other guy's crowbar and stuff. It's pretty like weird, cheesy 70s stuff, but it'd be cool.
There you go. Write it up, pitch it to a studio, and fucking they'll at least give you as much money as they gave to whoever produced Morbius.
Yeah, Morbid time. I'm trying to think of any superhero movies that I was like hated and like mad that I watched. But Judge I mean, Dredd. Like, what? The new one or the old one?
What, the one with Sylvester? Wait, there's a new Judge Dredd?
You haven't seen the Carl Urban Judge Dredd?
There's a Carl Urban Judge Dredd?
Yeah, man. It came out like 4 or 5 years ago. It's actually really good.
I mean, I have so much more Carl Urban appreciation since The Boys. I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. He's so good in that.
Give me all the Carl Urban.
Yeah, like that's more superhero shit. Like my whole point is this. It's like you have a basic movie plot, which is like, yeah, they've all been done to death, and there's drama and there's action and there's comedy. They're all better if it's about superheroes. Like if you have a heist movie, yeah, it's a pretty good heist movie. Like Heat, yeah, that's super dope. It's got Val Kilmer and they're like shooting shit. Now put superheroes in that and it's even better.
Damn, that movie dropped 2012. That movie is 10 years old.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you should definitely watch that.
Okay. Thanks.
Did you see the Total Recall remake?
Thanks for that. I actually did not.
It's also very good.
I love the original of that.
Oh yeah, I love the original, but the new one has Colin Farrell in it.
Yeah.
He's one of my many man crushes.
It was also what's his name, wasn't it?
Who?
Denny, the guy who directed the new fucking Dune. Didn't he do that? Total Recall? Am I high?
I don't know directors.
Or was that Blade Runner? Total Recall.
Who directed Dune?
Fucking, oh no, that's Len Wiseman. Who are you? Oh, Underworld. Checks out.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve is the guy who directed, and he also did, what the fuck else has he done? Lots of shit. You know, Dune,
Yeah.
Blade Runner, Arrival. There we go. All great movies. Okay, hey, we're talking about movies.
Arrival, the Charlie Sheen movie?
The one with the fucking aliens where you're an idiot. Hey, internet, thanks for tuning in to episode 210 of Outrage Factory, mostly listening to Dale and I talk about movies for half an hour.
Which is we should just pivot this into a superhero movie podcast.
For real, I would do that.
And like
we could
science fiction and geek stuff.
Okay,
or we should just have more nerdage.
You have to think at this point, there are enough superhero movies where we could watch and then like give a review of a superhero movie. If we go all the way back to like the first superhero or comic book movie ever made, and then which would be like what, probably a fucking old ass Batman, or
probably something the worst. No, there'd be something from like the 20s.
Guess what?
Like Prince Valiant or something.
Guess what?
What?
I'm Googling it. First comic book movie
there you
ever
go.
made. Let's go. Superhero film. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, you pretty spot on. They were adapted into Saturday film serials and aimed at children, starting with Mandrake the Magician in 1939.
Damn, son.
Killed it. Oh, there we go. Shadow, Adventures of Captain Marvel in 1941, Batman 1943.
You know what we need an update on?
What?
If you're going to watch Hitch with me.
No.
Remember?
Wait, what was the
bet we made?
What was the bet?
If the movie that Will Smith was supposed to be in when he slapped Chris Rock gets put out by August, then you win the bet. But if it doesn't, and they cancel it because they try to cancel Will Smith, then I win the bet, and you and me have to watch Hitch.
Okay, I'm trying to see. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the movie?
Oh God, just look up Will Smith. If you tell me the title, I'll remember it.
Oh damn, they're working on an I Am Legend 2? Fucking dope.
Sweet. Hold on. It's a Netflix Will Smith movie. Wait, is I Am Legend by
here
Netflix?
We go. Fast and Loose. Fast and Loose something. No, it's not. Fast and Loose. And now the streaming service has quietly moved the film to the back burner. It's still going to happen.
Oh yeah, this article is still from April 2nd though. This was the original art. This was when we were talking about it way back in April.
Yeah.
So the update is there's no update.
There is no update. Stay tuned.
We got till because the deal was if it doesn't come out by August or it doesn't get set back into production,
then we'll watch Hitch.
It was at the point where they're looking for a director to start filming it and shit, and then they put it on the back burner. So if that doesn't happen by August, me and Derek are having movie night and we're watching the Kevin Smith / Will Smith star-studded duo Hitch.
I wish it was Kevin Smith.
Oh no, it's not Kevin Smith.
It's Kevin fucking shitty Kevin James.
Kevin James, who is I don't know if I like him because I think he's hilarious or because he has the same body type as me.
Yeah, you look at Kevin James, you see yourself. That's why you like him.
Maybe if Drew Carey made more movies.
Hey, internet. Yeah, thanks for joining us. You can follow me and see my sporadic tweets on Twitter at Herder.
You can follow me on Twitter at SuperDalebot.
You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you get your social media at Outragefactorypod. Unless you're on TikTok, where Dale posts his all his fucking podcasts to the same fucking account.
Yeah, Dale DeRuiter.
Ruining our branding.
Also, my joke, nobody watched well, some of them got like 1,200 watches, but nobody liked them.
Holy
So
shit!
I'm gonna
how do you get
retool
1,200
it.
watches?
I'm gonna retool it a bit because I think what happened was because TikTok is made for a phone. I sound like a boomer trying to explain this, but when you watch this podcast, it's our two faces side by side. So what I'm gonna do is when I do them now, I'm gonna zoom way in on like a face, so it's like this big, and then put that on there. Because I
like how
did one.
1,200 people watch a clip of our podcast and nobody likes it, and you think it's a formatting issue instead of the fact that we just fucking suck at podcasting.
No, we don't suck at podcasting. We're fucking hilarious.
It's like, yeah, but we're definitely an acquired taste.
Then why aren't people acquiring it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You gotta
Whatever.
force them
But
to
anyways,
acquire you.
I also put all the distasteful jokes I think of in there. Like my last one. Did you see it?
The last Outrage Factory one?
No, my last joke I put up there. Because you know how girlfriends and boyfriends always have those conversations where like, would you still like me if? I asked Andrea, I was like, if I was dead, would you have sex with my corpse? And of course she said no. And then I was like, if you did, would ghost me feel like you were cheating on ghost me with my corpse?
Jesus Christ.
But my joke was, I feel like men love to a deeper level than women do, because women never have sex with their expired spouse's corpse, but like so many serial killer dudes have done that.
Yeah, men do all the time. Well, because that's also a byproduct of the. Oh, is that the joke?
Yeah, that's the joke. Is men love women so much they have sex with their corpses,
Yeah.
but women don't love men enough to have sex with their corpses.
Yeah. It's true.
How I got canceled.
Dude, if you haven't been canceled yet, you are like Teflon. You will never get canceled.
I know.
Ever.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Hey, if you like the podcast, please. If you like the podcast, even after Dale talked about having sex with corpses, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you really like the podcast, tell your friends about us. And if you really, really like the podcast, I'm fucking lazy, so I still haven't fixed our Patreon, so you can't donate us money. But
what? You know what we should do?
What?
We should have the superhero movie as a Patreon bonus that you have to sign up for Patreon to get.
Damn. Look at Mr. Ideas over here. Give us money on Patreon, and every like once a month or something, you can listen to Dale and I review superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then the first one will be Morbius.
Any amount of money will do. I will watch Morbius. How about this? You donate us money on Patreon, and you can pick movies that Dale and I have to watch.
Good one, but they have to be superhero.
They can be the worst fucking movie ever made. It can be a 9-hour art house film. It can be just like, I don't know. It could be a documentary about Air Canada, and we will have to sit and watch it. Because superhero movies is very limiting.
I know, but it's also palatable. Because that's
the whole point.
I don't want to get stuck watching like fucking Irreversible or something.
I think, oh God, the fucking movie still haunts me. I think more people, we can get more money from people if they know they're inflicting pain on us.
You mean any money at all?
Money. I think we can get any money from all of people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dale and I'll hammer out the details. But until next week,
stay angry.
Pew, pew.